Alright, welcome back. Now, been a pretty productive day to this point. Still being productive. Got a long day still ahead of me. I just wanted to stop and talk for a little bit because it's raining outside. And it's just so much running through my head. And obviously, the reason I said I'm going to start making these videos and start posting is because sometimes things get stuck in my head and I just want to talk about them. So that's what I'm doing. Now, I'm sitting there, and rainy days for myself, they vary. Now, I say that because sometimes I wake up and it's just a different attitude that I'm used to, that I've kind of developed. Sometimes I'm a little, sometimes I'm sluggish. Sometimes I have those days, just like everybody else. Sometimes I wake up and it's not that nothing seems to be going right, but it seems to be like one of those days where nothing really matters. I have those days where it seems like who actually cares? Like, who actually cares what I've got going on? Like, it's those days where, like, you can have so many people to talk to, so many people that want to talk to you, but it's just those days where you can't see that. It's just you, and it's just so hard. There are those days for sure. Now, the thing is, those days are gonna happen. They're gonna happen. There's gonna be rainy days. Sometimes those can happen on the most sunny days. Very rarely, if it's sunny out, I'm usually outside, right? But it's just those days. But today, it's not one of those days. Today's not. It's raining outside, and I'm happy. I'm happy because the question that's been stuck in my head, the thing that's been constantly running through my head, is who am I? Who am I? That's probably gonna be the title of this video. But who am I? Who am I? And that's honestly, like, it's something that everyone should know or have a general idea of it. Maybe you're one of them people that have just been avoiding themselves, like those self-talks and those mirrors and those getting back to the drawing board. Like, maybe you've just been completely avoiding something that you know you shouldn't be, aka the work that you're avoiding. Now, that can be work as far as building yourself up financially. That could be the work as far as building yourself up physically, and the work of mentally, tie back to you, into who you are, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about, because, who are you? I guess take a moment and really sit there and just list out some things that you know you are, you say you are. Because I start my day off every day with affirmations. Not on the weekends. Weekends are me time. I do my own thing. I got things that I've got going on. But I write affirmations. Now, I love this quote by Alex Hormozy. I say it all the time because I've heard it like every podcast. It's, you don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror. You become confident by having an undeniable stack of proof of who you say you really are. Now, when I write these affirmations, they're just things that I know I am. I know I'm productive. I know I'm, deserving of success and love. I know I'm capable. I expect the uncertainty. I expect nothing and I accept everything. It's just different things. I usually switch them out. But I always put, me personally, it could be your higher up that you should be talking about, that you have belief in and faith in and everything. But mine's always just tying back to God. And I don't want to get too religious into this because people have different views, and I'm not going to try and push you to view one thing more than another. Hey, love is love. You love yourself. And as long as you do love yourself, your opinion is the only thing that should matter to you. So I'm not going to sit there and judge you on what you do, who you believe in, what you've got going on. Now, going back to where I was, it's basically like, who are you? You write these things down. Can you really say that's who you are? Now, do you put in there like, I am patient? No, I am love. Okay, but if I put you in a situation where you have to be patient, you're not. Okay, I can say you're not. But regardless, it's just, who are you? And I say this because on a day like today, where I was going with everything, I can sit there and I had dealt with those moments so many times over that I've slowly calloused my mind to not only expect those days to come, but expect myself to have learned enough about myself to be able to recognize those patterns and know how to go about them accordingly. And by doing so, not only do I decrease the amount of days that I do have those moments, but I increase my productivity load. It's simply because I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know much more about myself than I did even 7-8 months ago. Now, there came plenty of trial and error moments, and definitely plenty of situations where I was tested in every way, mentally, physically, spiritually. And that's fine. I've come to the state of acceptance of everything, but I expect nothing. Now, that's only because I put enough work in behind the screen, behind closed doors, to where I became confident by knowing who I am, simply just because I know, if I know one thing, I know this. I know I'm a good person. All right. We might have had a situation previously. We might have bumped heads previously, but I have no room in my heart for hate. And I can say that. And I can say if I ever did have problems or anything like that, I've been quick to solve them or make sure that they're not what they're supposed to be. Bad phone calls, I'll give it a minute, step back real quick, realize, okay, maybe I was overreacting. Call the person back, explain myself a little bit, but not too much, because, hey, how I felt is how I felt. But forgive me for acting out of emotion and not sitting back and talking to myself beforehand and thinking logically, because I know myself. Now, I think if you don't know yourself, I think you just haven't, you either don't want it enough, you don't want better for yourself enough, or you just avoid it way too much. Because if you're really chasing after something, you're bound to run into like roadblocks and haters and people along the way. But if those things aren't happening, then you're not doing something right. I truly believe that. I'm not saying like I'm a hated guy, because, you know, at the end of the day, I can lay with myself and know I'm going to bed doing everything I can to reach something beyond me. And that just comes with loving yourself. You know, you'll really know who you are if you do have love for yourself. If you can enjoy the comfort of just lonesomeness and being isolated. But the thing is that I can't sit here and explain to you guys how to do so, because you have to figure it out in yourself. Everything I tell you is what I go through, and it's something that I've learned, and that's why I'm talking about it now. I can't tell you what to do that's going to work for you. Nobody can. I don't think that. You can have mentors, coaches, you can have everything in the world, but if some things just don't click for you, then it's either just not your time, or you still have things that you have to go through. Because you have to hit rock bottom. I say this over and over. You have to hit rock bottom, because there's no way to keep growing and learning and reaching those new levels if you don't hit rock bottom. Now, I'm not saying it always happens like that, but if you're looking for change, you have to realize that you're at the bottom. You have to realize that, man, maybe I don't know who I am. Maybe I don't know what I actually stand for. And those are the times where you have to sit down, have those moments, have those talks. You have to look at that accountability mirror and just be like, man, you know what? Maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I don't like the way I look physically, not on the face. You can't change that stuff. You can, but it's just so expensive. Anyways, maybe I know I'm not doing enough as far as regular work. Maybe I know I can be a better person and I don't have to be as mean as often. Maybe I can heal from something that happened to me. But you'll never know if you never try. And nothing changes if nothing changes. So when you wake up in the morning, you have to decide right then and there. Am I going to lie to myself again? Am I just going to sleep past the time I said I was going to on purpose? Or am I going to do it just because I love myself? Because on those days where those times do become tough, when it is raining and it's harder to snap out of that moment, because they do happen, and you have nothing else, nothing just in your mind besides everything that's been wrong and that's been going wrong. At least you can depend on your discipline. At least help you get through what you need to get done. And it gets done regardless of how you feel. Regardless if you wake up the morning after at 5 a.m. and you had only a couple of hours of sleep because someone was able to do something to you that made you just not stop thinking and not be able to even think logically to control yourself. Even though those moments do come, at least you'll know that you'll have your discipline to be able to still get you up out of bed with no sleep. Roll over, turn the light on, put some water in your face, read while you take a shit, journal, and then pray, and then go about your work day. Then finish your work day. So have a good night prayer, brush your teeth again, go to bed. At least your discipline will get you to do that. And I'm telling you, as long as you still hold on to that and you don't let things that you can't control stop you from doing the things you can control, as in routine, morning, afternoon, and nightly routine, it will happen. You can be anything you want to. But like I say, I can only tell you so much. I'm not telling you to completely do things that are uncomfortable right away, because they're not gonna work. That's just not how it works. But start a little bit. Start somewhere. Either one day or day one. I dislike, I'll always do it tomorrow. Or I'll tell you what, that's going on the New Year's resolution, and it's February. Like, come on. Just start somewhere. Start doing something. Because if you really love yourself, you'll realize I'm on this earth for the first time. All of these things that are happening to me are happening for me, so that I can learn and grow from them, so that I can move on and see new things, learn new things, meet new people, have new adventures. That's the joy that I'm looking for. All of this, that all happens, I know it's because I didn't stop. It's because I know who I am, and I know what I stood on from such an early age on. Now, when I do mean start somewhere, I'm saying start from scratch. Get back to the drawing board. And maybe before you get to the drawing board, stop in the bathroom and look in the mirror and just know enough is enough. And I'm not like Christian or Catholic, but I do know one of the most said words in the Bible is, or not said words, but said phrases is fear not. Fear not. That's like one of the most common things in there. And I just love it so much, because it's just, stress is from things that happen in your mind that are imaginary. Or, most of our suffering comes from situations that are imaginary anyways. But that's where stress and anxiety comes from. To be able to prosper and to be able to enjoy life, that comes from just self-love. Because even if all this stuff never happens, and I never have good days, and I never have none of this stuff that I'm still working for, at least I know I'll have my discipline. At least I know I'll have myself, and I'll be true to my word. I'm a man of my word. I lay right with my higher up at the end of the day. I sleep well most nights. I have a good sleep schedule. I'm disciplined. I am resilient. I persist, and I seek new challenges. It's things that I can say out loud because it's just what I do. I don't want to be another statistic. I want more. You should always want more for yourself. So, like I said, it's only going to be so much of what I say that you're going to actually reciprocate and maybe even implement into your own life. But regardless, at least try. At least do something. Love yourself enough to at least do it for yourself, not for nobody else. Whoever you are, whatever your situation is, whether it's persisting through school, nursing school, or, maybe it's getting through that internship. Maybe it's starting to go to the gym. Maybe it's wanting to believe in something higher than yourself. Maybe it's just wanting to be a sponge and keep on growing. Whatever it is, do it for you. Because if there's no one else in this world that you have, you always have yourself. So my question for you is, who are you? Who are you? All right, well, that's another one down. I appreciate you guys joining me today. I'm gonna get better at intros, endings. I'm slowly working on everything. I'm not perfect, and I'm not looking to be perfect. I'm just looking to be consistent and to learn more and better myself. So if these videos get better because of so, just know I didn't stop. Just know I'm still going. I got to get back to everything else that I've been doing today. Yeah, I just wanted to talk because it's raining outside. That's it. It's only because it's raining outside. And it's still almost 11 a.m. I hope that you got to it today. I hope that you do it every day. And I hope from the last time you stopped in and seen one of my videos to now that you can say that you got 1% better, or depending on the days apart, you got a couple % better, that you did something for you. I appreciate you joining me today. I'll see you guys next time.